Gold has been consolidating for past couple of weeks, and it has been causing a lot of confusions amongst the traders and analysts because they have been finding it very hard to actually trade this particular price action. We have been expecting this consolidation, and we have also been trading this consolidation using our method. Let's find out, what we could have done and why we were expecting this consolidation and what could be the next move. So stay tuned. Welcome back to the analysis of gold XAUUSD. Thanks for joining me here. My name is Vic. I'm the founder of Vikinsa Capital Management. Right, so let's start with little higher time frame, right? So we will go to the monthly time frame and see what has been going on because this gives you a little bit of better picture, right? So I will not bore you with this entire thing, but just to let you know very quickly what has been going on in this entire structure is this. So yes, take the screen. So we are looking at only this section here. So the gold actually created a W pattern here, okay, as you can clearly see. And when W pattern completes, the market goes down, it fell down, okay. Then it went up and it formed a double top, okay. For us in our methodology, that is not a double top, that is kind of internal W in there, but it doesn't matter what how you interpret that. Formed a double top, then fell down, and it actually closed below, which is basically saying that I've become more bearish now. Then market started to go back up on this time frame, and it formed a kind of triple top. Now you'll have to refer to your own feed. In my feed, it is showing it is creating triple top, the market actually never went higher, and another feeds it has gone up. And I have discussed this in Telegram group when actually it happened, so you can actually check that out. Telegram group is, by the way, completely free, and you'll find the link to that in the description of this video or on the screen itself. So once the market went there, it kind of it fell down again from there, which was kind of expected because when it reaches all-time highs, all-time lows, there can be some sort of reaction. So this is the reaction which has been happening for last 1.5 months or so. Okay, and this is still a very small reaction as compared to the bullish move. So if you focus only on, if I just take that back again, if you focus only on this particular structure here, okay, just this much, what you will notice that this is a kind of V structure here, and then we have a little bit of correction on that. So the market at the moment, it is, if you focus only on the last two legs, the market is still very bullish, and it can find supports at various levels on monthly time frames. It may not just start to go down all the way down to this low. So what we will have to do is actually find those levels and trade around them. Our entire methodology is based on the higher time frame levels because higher time frame picture or higher time frame patterns are the ones which are actually driving the market. So we should be finding those levels and trading around them. Right. So this is what's happening around here on monthly time frame. Okay, much in-depth analysis is available in premium analysis. If you want a copy of premium analysis to be done or sent to you, then please contact us via Telegram, or you'll find a link in the description here as well. If I go to the weekly time frame, on weekly time frame, what has happened, the market has created a W pattern, and I covered that in depth in the previous video. If you have not watched the previous video, please do that because it has a lot of content in there, a lot of educational content in there. And I've also included a snippet from our live classes as well, so that should show you what we were looking for and why we were looking for a short from around 2050 level. So the market went up and it created a kind of W pattern, and when W pattern completes, the market falls down. It fell down, and now it has reached a level where it is taking a little bit of support, right? So that support here is actually causing that consolidation along with another factor. So that factor is what I've sent on May 27th on Twitter and Telegram. So this is what I said, it could be simply, it could simply form a consolidation. This was sent on May 27th. All right, we were expecting this consolidation because it reached a level, and also because we had this trend line and we had this 200 moving average, which was present on 12-hour time frame. So the market was going to consolidate around here because of several reasons. However, if the market falls down, if it starts to pick up the momentum, then we have this possible target around 1877.81, and then a lower target will be 1843.82. And these are higher time frame targets. Remember, this may or may not happen, or it may take several weeks, several months as well, because these are higher time frame targets. One of the things that I must tell you is that there is a gap left here. Right, this is a massive gap, and I'm expecting it to get filled at some point in time in future. However, one thing about gap, which I posted on LinkedIn and Telegram as well, and it's a very good example, and it has a lot of education content in there. If you haven't seen this, go and check it out. Gaps may or may not fill immediately, and they also depend on the personality of the market. Sometimes gaps can take years and maybe decades as well. There was a gap on CHFJPY which got filled after 42 years. So not suggesting that this is going to get filled immediately. This may take weeks, months, who knows, right? But you should be aware that there is something which is available here. Okay, so trade what you see. You can anticipate anything. You can say, okay, yeah, this is going to go up or this is going to go down, but you must trade what you see because the market can change at any moment in time. Right, so this is what has been happening. Since then, the market has actually consolidated around the same level. This is the same trend line that we have been looking at. It has consolidated around there, and it has also formed a flag. Okay. Now, last week, what has happened is that market tried to create a fake breakout of this. Market fell down and it created a fake breakout. Now, this is a sign of clear manipulation. And when you have this, there are a few things that you should remember. That the manipulation was actually done to the downside, which means that market could actually go back up because they have collected the stop loss which are below this line, previous low, right? Which means that they have they have collected the stop losses here, which means that market can actually push upwards here from here. Okay, but again, I'm reminding you that you should trade what you see because these things do change on daily basis, right? So if you are a short-term trader, if you are a day trader or short-term swing trader, then you should pay extra attention to this, right? Then what I've done is actually when a lot of people were getting confused, we were expecting this consolidation anyway, right? But and that is why I did not post the update because I knew that this was going to happen anyway. But then I explained what was going on because a lot of people were actually confused around there. So in this Telegram group, you're free to join anyway. This is free. So um, okay, so this is what I explained, later on as an update. So this is what's happening. So the consolidation happened. And then if we look deeper into this consolidation, this is the flag which was much more evident on 4-hour time frame. We can clearly see a flag forming here. Now, with these flags, the problem with these flags is that you do not know until they actually break out, and there can be a lot of fake breakouts. So you do not know whether this is going to be a bullish flag or bearish flag, right? So that is the problem with these retail trader patterns, right? But you should be aware of them and see what they're telling you. And inside this flag, you can see a lot of WNM patterns. And these are the WNM patterns which we have been trading. In our FCB Discord room, we have traded this. There have been a very nice trade on this. And these are very easy to actually spot, as you can clearly see. With little bit of training, you can clearly see, like, there are WNM patterns, and there was a small um, so this is how it was looking when the M pattern completed. The market went up, right? This is what I explained on the Telegram group. And then on a smaller time frame, they were like, the most recent, there was a W pattern which made this fall. Okay. So this is like, how we read, and we were able to capture a very nice trade, like, 8.26 to 1 RNR on one of these. And this is the Discord room, that this is where we, like, we went through this entire process, and we were able to pick up a very nice trade here. Okay, so you're free to join this Telegram group. You'll find a lot of content there and a lot of updates there as well. Whenever we have something, we will share there. So, what is going on right now? So because of this freak breakout and because of this engulfing candle, right, there are two scenarios at the moment. Remember, as a trader, you do not have to predict everything. What you have to do is just find the levels, find important support and resistance levels, right, depending on your methodology, and trade around them. If a level is acting as a support and if it gives you confirmation, then all you have to do is just, like, take the trade with your risk management. If a level is expected to act as a resistance, or it is acting as a resistance, and you have got enough evidence, basically a confirmation, then you can take a short trade, right? So all you have to do is just make sure that, like, you are assessing the probabilities and you're looking both ways, on both bull and bear side, and see what can happen, what are the scenarios that can happen, and how you are going to react to the market. Remember, you cannot control the market. Okay, so what you should do is just create the scenario saying, okay, if this happens, then I will do this. If this happens, I'll do this, right? Nobody's forcing you to take the long trade all the time. Nobody's forcing you to take the short trade all the time, right? It does not matter, because as a trader, you can make money on either side. All you have to do is just find those important levels and find a confirmation around them and trade them, right? So let's look at, like, what are those scenarios. So if I focus only on this part here, okay, there are a couple of scenarios that you should be aware of, especially because of what has happened here, right? Okay, so the first one is that the market can, let me just take a different color here so that it looks a bit better. Right, so you see, this can actually form a midpoint, right? This particular point here, which is around 1990 level, okay, that can form a midpoint of a bigger W pattern. Okay, so that is quite a possibility. And if that happens, the market can actually push into somewhere around here, which is like, consolidation area. This is the area which you can see around 2000 or 2010 level or so. So that is quite a possibility. It can actually go slightly higher as well, right? And this will also coincide with a trend line like this, right? So this is a possibility if the market picks up momentum, and if it actually breaks through. Let me just clean this up. And if it breaks through this particular trend line, basically if it actually breaks to the upside of this wedge, remember what I said. Some of these patterns, retail trader patterns, like, these are hard to find and, like, hard to judge on. Like, you cannot see the breakout until it actually happens. So in other words, what can happen is that if the market breaks through this wedge to the upside and it performs a retest of this wedge, or you get a confirmation, then you can look for a completion formation of W pattern which can actually push the price back up, right? And beware of this line, beware of this level of 1984, which can act as a midpoint, right? So that's one thing, one scenario. Now, second scenario is that if, remember what has happened here, what has happened here, right? This has collected the stop loss. Now, few people will actually take this as a kind of, like, structure break or something like that. Now, I will not try to argue with them or anything like this. For us in our recipe methodology, this is simply a fake breakout at the moment, right? We need further confirmation, further evidence for us to tell, like, whether it actually wants to go below this. However, if it starts to go below than that, then what can happen is this. It can form a bigger M pattern. and that will look like this. It will be like this. The whole structure will be like this. The market is going up, okay, and it has taken a little bit of correction, and now it could be falling down. And if the market goes up, which it has, then it can form an M pattern like this. This will be a complex M pattern. Okay, so if it actually breaks through this, and if it closes below, if it comes down below this line, like the previous low, which has been created around 1925 or so, right? If it violates this and actually starts to give a confirmation, then it can continue to fall down, and it may probably reach this gap level here, and it can also continue to fall down to 1843. So these levels are 1877 and 1843. So these are the two scenarios. All you have to do is just make sure that you are actually waiting for, if you're a breakout trader or if you're looking for long-term opportunities, then if it breaks to the upside, you now know where it can go to. Okay, if it breaks to the downside, which is basically below this previous low, then you know where it can fall down to, right? So you know all of this now at a higher time frame. Now, what can we do on the smaller time frames, such as for day trade or things like this? So if I go to the smaller time frame, let's say I go to 4 hour time frame. Okay. Now on this time frame, remember we have been looking into WNM patterns, right? So on WNM patterns, you can, if you know how to trade those WNM patterns, you can trade them in all market conditions, including consolidations, as I just showed you before. So you can continue to play that. And this is what I actually posted in the Discord room as well. Let me actually find that for you and show you what I mean. And there is a very important thing as well, and that probably should help you. Okay, so this is what I shared in our FCP students Discord room. Um, Okay. Remember, there are few levels on gold which actually start to act as a strong resistance. Now, our definition of strong resistance and our methodology is completely different to how retail traders actually work. So, this level here, 1969, is now actually a kind of a strong pivot, right? Pretty much like 1806. If you have been following my analysis, you know that 1806 was a price which market kept on coming back to. So right now, in the current conditions, this is the level which market wants to keep around, coming around to. So 1969, whenever the market came here, fell down, went above, came back down, came here. So in other words, retail traders will say that this is a strong resistance. I mean, you can interpret like that, but it's an important level for us. So, and this is the W pattern which I gave on 16th of June, which was on Friday, and it actually worked out really, really nicely. We also had very nice wedge pattern in there, which actually made it even better. So let me show you that. I'm copying this, I'm putting it here from our Discord room. So there was a wedge pattern. This is the same W pattern which you saw earlier on here. This is the same W pattern here, but this one is one hour, and the chart that I'm showing you right now is 15 minutes. So in 15 minutes, this is the same W pattern. The market completed that W pattern, went slightly close to this 1969. There was a wedge pattern which was engineering the liquidity. All of these patterns, wedge patterns, and all that, those are they are actually there to create liquidity in retail traders. And the market was supposed to break through that. It broke through that, went back for a retest, and then started to fall down. Okay, so this is how you can keep on trading these WNM patterns as well if you want to for short-term profits, short-term gains or short-term time frames. So this is what we could do. So until actually breaks through this 1969 level, right? Right. Until I see a proper break of 1969 on daily or weekly basis. My bias on the gold will still remain short side. Even if it goes slightly above, it will try to come back to 1969 because this is exactly what it has been doing. You can call it as a range, wedge, or whatever. We simply call it as a consolidation. And in consolidation, You can keep on playing these WNM patterns, and there is usually an important level in consolidation, and that's what it is. There are actually many more levels in this consolidation which are very important, like this. You can also treat this level here in the middle, but this is the main one, which is the higher time frame consolidation level. They're trying to keep gold pinned around this level here, and that is why this is very, very important for us. Okay. Okay, let me give you some of the important levels, which I was mentioning before, some of the important levels that you should be using as support and resistance, depending on the market conditions, right? So here are, we have like, two important levels, which are 1969.7 and 1954. The market has been trying to use them as strong support and resistance. As you can see, like, the market comes here and then falls down and then vice versa. Um, this level of 1926.715, this has been there on our chart for a long, long time now. And the market last week actually fell down to this level, immediately bounced back up. There is a gap left around 1979 level as well. So the market may actually try to go up. And remember the W pattern that I was talking about, that guy can actually push the price back into 2000 and even higher than that, approximately 2010. Or if it doesn't stop there, then it is going to go to 2020. Right, so this is like the W pattern there. And in terms of the M pattern, then the market may actually, if it continues to fall below 1926.715, then it can come down to 1906, which is also like a gap level. We also have a gap around here somewhere, and then we also have 1900 round number. So the market is kind of stuck at the moment here, right? This is the M pattern which has been forming. The market went above, tested the midpoint, fell down. Now it is consolidating here. So these are the some of the important levels that you should be aware of. Better levels and better analysis is available in the premium one, and if you're interested in that, please send us a message on Telegram or email, or like via here and on this video as well, and we will help you further. So hopefully this has been helpful to you, and if you found this useful, make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share it with other traders and trading communities. Have a great time trading gold next week, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good time. Thank you for watching. Find and follow us on these social media channels.